We are learning new details about the man behind the rampage at a movie theater near Nashville. Authorities say 29-year-old Vincent Montano had a long history of mental illness, having been committed 4 times for psychiatric treatment in the past. Investigators say Montano was armed with a hatchet, a pellet gun, and pepper spray when he stormed into a theater outside Nashville yesterday. Montano reportedly had a canister of propane, lighter fluid, and a lighter, and may have intended on setting off an explosive device. Today marks 3 weeks since the attack on the Military Reserve Center in Chattanooga. And in those 3 weeks, 3 lone wolf shooters are dead after separate attacks across the country. News Channel 9's Hannah Lawrence has details of the cases which a mental health advocate says could have been prevented. Hannah.
Yeah, Kim and Calvin, yesterday afternoon mayhem outside of a Nashville theater when a man had a hatchet and airsoft gun started attacking during a movie. That attacker has one major thing in common with 2 other attackers across the country in the last 3 weeks. Each of them had a mental illness. Shots fired into a military recruiting center in Chattanooga, Tennessee, July 16th. Then on July 23rd, gunfire kills 2 and injures 9 more in a Louisiana movie theater. Now, just 2 weeks later, moviegoers in Nashville, Tennessee, recounting what happened Wednesday night.
Hey, this shady-looking guy stood up with like 2 bags, and he walked towards the back of the theater, and he pulled out a hatchet and started attacking this family, and then he pulled out a gun, and we all ran out of the theater.
Suspects in each of these cases were reported lone shooters who died in their attacks, but what mental health advocate Jane Elmore says may be more notable tonight is that each man had previously been treated for mental illness.
But we just don't have enough beds or treatment.
Elmore says mental health institutes across the country are constantly dealing with funding issues, and that may have a direct correlation to incidents like these. She says she sees patients in her support groups on a daily basis who have been released without the proper long-term help they need.
It's not magic, and they don't have enough money to keep people. They don't have enough beds.
Tonight we've learned that the mother of Vincent Montano, the Nashville attacker, filed a missing persons report for her son and said that he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia 11 years ago. According to police, Montano had been committed to an institution in Murfreesboro at least 3 times.
There are always plenty of people to blame, but it doesn't really matter. The issue is we're going forward now. So how do we make it better?
Elmore also talked about the issue families have getting help for their loved ones. I'm working on that part of the story for 6 o'clock. We did reach out to Carmike Cinemas today about the most recent shooting near Nashville. We're still waiting to hear back whether or not this will change any safety measures going forward. Kim.
Hannah, thank you very much. In the 3 weeks since the Chattanooga shootings, 3 lone wolf attackers are dead after separate incidents across the country.
News Channel 9's Hannah Lawrence has details of the cases that one mental health advocate says could have been prevented. Hannah.
Well, Kim and Calvin, the Nashville attacker had a history of mental illness in common with the Chattanooga shooter and the Louisiana movie theater shooter. For the first time, we're hearing from someone inside the Nashville theater when the man attacked. Police say each of these men were suspects in an active shooter situation in the last 3 weeks. On July 16th, police say Mohammod Abdulazeez fired shots into a military recruiting center and then a Marine and Naval Reserve Center in Chattanooga, ultimately killing 5 service members. Then on July 25th, John Russell Hauser killed 2 and then himself in a Louisiana movie theater. Yesterday, police say Vincent Montano threatened people and officers with an airsoft gun and a hatchet in another movie theater near Nashville.
He pulled out a hatchet and started attacking this family, and then he pulled out a gun, and we all ran out of the theater.
In each case, family members of the attacker reported a history of mental illness. Jane Elmore says she realized society had a stigma about mental illness when her family had to help a member get treatment.
They think they're being kind not to mention it. Nobody talks to you. When you walk into the room, everybody shuts up. So it's a whole different experience.
Elmore says education is key to changing the way society treats those associated with loved ones suffering from mental illness, and she says that may allow more people to admit they need help. Elmore says mental health institutes across the country are constantly dealing with funding issues. She says early release of patients due to unavailable beds may have a direct correlation to horrific events such as these recent shootings. Calvin.
Thanks, Hannah. And we do want to make it clear that it is not yet known what motivated Mohammod Abdulazeez to carry out the attacks in Chattanooga. While a family spokesperson says he was depressed, the FBI investigation is ongoing.